You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Zinget Solutions, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, Rhino Coaching, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Thin, Peter Goldman Zone School of Healing, Go Get Talks, Fit to Lift, The Goodman Factor, Unmarket Your Practice, and McCaffrey Clinical Mentoring. Let's hustle.
Hey everybody, Jim Chester coming to you live. This is a Chiro Hustle afternoon edition, and I have Fred Didomenico over that way, other way, coming in from Newport Beach, California, and I am coming in from the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. And today we are going to talk a lot about what Fred has going on, some of his wins from 2019, and where we're headed into 2020. And if you guys didn't know, 2020 will be the year of perfect vision. So, Fred, I know you came out with a book recently called Back to Health. So let's talk to our audience a little bit about this book and the significance behind it, because I know that as you developed the structure of the book, you came up with some new systems as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoot, everybody knows this. We live in a new world, man. It's no big secret. We live in a tech-oriented society, and God, everybody knows that tech neck and all this stuff. But really, in going through, we're elite as spinal corrective base, not because I'm a technique guy, but I'm a philosophy guy, and I believe in the philosophy. And the world now is not just about bone on nerve, man. It's curve and cord. And after sitting through so many CVP seminars and tons of research, medicine is actually proving chiropractic for chiropractic. There's so much research on curves changing, stress on the cord, immunodeficiencies, cancers, disability, early death, all this stuff. So I took Dan Murphy's information, and he took boatloads of medical studies, and I created this book, Back to Health, that was geared for patients. And it's been touted as one of the best patient chiropractic books that's ever been released. Because when a patient reads this, it starts with a story of a teenager or early 20s kid ding in his pocket, bends forward. It talks about how companies are studying human behavior to get us addicted to their technology, and now how the society and the world that we live in is ruining our health. And there's boatloads of medical studies where, man, when you read this book, this builds a lifestyle culture, no question. And the doctors that have gotten this book have had patients come back and say, okay, what do I do? I want to bring my family and I want to be my kids in. I get it. And I'm just not making this stuff up. We have testimonials. So it was written for the general public to build lifestyle culture. One of our slogans is end the pain game, man. I mean, haven't we done the pain game long enough? We need a resource that we can hand people that will completely switch their mind in a way that you can't argue. Like when you read the studies of this book, when you're done, like, okay, I'm done. That's it. What do I have to do? Because you can't argue with it. And so it's not a book that's based on research, but it uses stories which people change behavior. Roberto Monaco teaches professional speaking, right? He says people can argue facts, but they can't argue stories. So it talks about stories, not just patient testimonials, but scenarios, and ties that in with research. So a patient, after 21 years of human behavior, I wrote this book with the human behavior principles so people can actually change their perspective and change their belief system. So I'm really excited about that. You want to build a lifestyle culture, man, this is a great resource.
It's like change your mind, change your life.
Yeah, exactly. And it is based on spinal correction. So even if you don't do spinal correction, the research out of this book, even if, it talks about dental rolls, and if you don't do it, man, just get the book and use the research and put it in put it in your new patient workshop.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times people are always looking for what the next resource is. And I think so many times people that come into a space of influence like yourself, you just want people to use and utilize what you've developed. And I think that that's something really cool about what you do with elite coaching is now you've created a system that people can actually implement. They can become a part of it. They can develop how to create lifetime patients. And it's a lifestyle like we were talking about. And it's not just like, hey, I've seen a chiropractor since I was 16, but I haven't seen someone in 5 years. No, you teach people how to implement care to where people are actually receiving care for a lifetime, and people actually appreciate that type of a lifestyle. I know you have an event coming up on January 12th in Denver, Colorado. Let's talk a little bit about elite coaching and that event.
Well, yeah, it's January 10th through the 12th. So our patient management boot camp. This is how to build lifestyle culture. And like we were talking about before I got on here, there's a difference between lifetime and lifestyle. Most people are struggling, very few get 80% in a lifetime. But like what you said, we all have patients, hey, I've been going to chiropractors my whole life, but there's maybe a decade where they didn't go, or geez, but I haven't been in years, or whatever, versus lifestyle is a mindset. Lifetime can be a habit. And lifestyle, though, is a mindset because that's something that you live consistently. And that's the difference, developing a lifestyle culture as opposed to lifetime. And so, there's a massive difference. But what I've done, again, I've studied human behavior for 21 years, and I learned how do you change people's mindset. So here's a shirt from our boot camps, #Mindset Master. You literally have to take a patient, doc, crack my back, what's my insurance cover? You got to change their whole belief system. So in 2.5 days, we show you how to change beliefs, how to get them from ending and stopping the pain game. Hey, in 2020, are we still going to play the pain game, or are we going to move into lifestyle? So this is a crucial event that can teach you how to change their mindset and belief system into lifestyle. Hey, and it's the beginning of the year, man. How many people, we got a new year, you want to create a new culture. You want to create a new lifestyle culture. That's the event where you switch their mindset and then create lifestyle patients, not only through this year, but into the new decade.
So I guess this is kind of an interesting topic for me to talk about. How did we go wrong? And we started telling everybody about this bone on nerve type concept and getting people into this pain mindset.
Well, I mean, bone on nerve was the original philosophy, right? But really, all the time it's been more curve and cord has always been the truth. There's no question there's bone on nerve, but what's more common is curve and cord, right? And now, there's so much research to support that. But and then obviously, I think what the thing is people didn't know how to communicate. Like earlier, back in the BJ days, right? I mean, chiropractic got discovered through influenza. So I think it was their passion and their purpose. And the message of all the early chiropractors was so consistent that's what built the foundation, right? Because all the chiropractors were principled. So the message overall in a general picture had more unity than today. Today, there's 8 million different messages. You know what I mean? Although the principle has never changed, but people settle because they don't know how to change people's belief systems. I mean, that's it. So our whole model is if you want to change the way people live, then you're actually a self-empowerment coach. You got to change their belief system, change their mindset. We've never been professionally trained. And so with all the different messages out there, people come in with so many different belief systems. You got to know how to identify them, clear them, get them into lifestyle mindset. And so that's what we do in Elite. It's based on shifting people's belief systems, finding the power that every person has inside them to make a life-changing decision right now, and then build a culture of raving lifetime fans.
Well, what you're saying to me goes in consistent form with marketing. And a lot of times when people market, they want to set themselves apart and make themselves look different. And I think that that's what chiropractic tried to do for a long time, is set themselves apart and look different. But the mess is in the message. So what happened is they messed up the message, and they started telling people a consistent messaging system that eventually wasn't consistent with the evolution of the profession. So now we're stuck in an old paradigm shift where we were telling people a messed up message, and now we're kind of stuck with having to fix that. And now the message has to be retold it in different fashion to where now as we come into the year of perfect vision 2020, we have to recalibrate and refocus into a more lifestyle care model rather than come in here for your pain and we're pain-based doctors and we can help you with anything under the hood that you have a problem with. And that's true. But what I like that you say is about the curve and the cord. And if the curve and the cord aren't consistent with the dynamics and the biomechanics, then the body's going to eventually break down. It doesn't matter how many adjustments that you're getting.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Zinget Solutions, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, Rhino Coaching, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Thin, Peter Goldman Zone School of Healing, Go Get Talks, Fit to Lift, The Goodman Factor, Unmarket Your Practice, and McCaffrey Clinical Mentoring. Let's hustle.
Well, exactly. And here's the thing, Jim, and everybody knows this, man. We live in a different world. We're in a culture-based world. I mean, every corporation knows if you don't create a culture, then you're going to fail in business. You're not going to reach the same level. So cultures are based on belief systems. And that's the difference, I always say, between building a practice. You can have several different mindsets. You can have pain-based, you can have lifetime, you can have people that come for a little while and quit. You can have people that come for just their insurance or whatever. And then by social proof, you got 8 different belief systems. Which one are they going to pick? But a culture has one belief system. So when you shift the mindset of your whole culture, you don't have a practice anymore. You have a culture. And the probability that everybody acts exactly the same way in lifestyle, you get a new patient, there's over a 90% probability that they're going to move into lifestyle. So we just teach you how to change the belief system of a whole organization, of your practice, turn a practice into a culture.
Yeah, and I think it was 12 years ago or so I met you. And as I met you, I realized that there was something special about you. And the way that you interacted with me was probably consistent, even better than the way that you interact and take care of people today. So I just want to say thank you for the way that you first met me. I was in Las Vegas, Nevada. We were at a CBP seminar. I was doing some demo work with Jason Yeager's Universal Traction System, and Matt Walker brought me out there to Vegas to do some video work for that project. But I met you, and you were doing a seminar out there, and we were sharing the same event room. So that was really cool. But I wanted to ask you a little bit more. Tell me about some wins that you had in 2019, and then we'll talk a little bit about future pacing us into 2020.
Well, we really started doing more work with You Are More Powerful Than You Think. That's a spiritually based system, helps us find, hey, it's chiropractic principle, man. Universal intelligence, where innate intelligence helps you connect with your innate intelligence, clear of all the limiting beliefs in your past, and then not only discover and fulfill your soul purpose. I mean, if you're a chiropractor, you're on your soul purpose. So to be spiritually based and be able to harness that power, we now have an online system that's probably going to be going live this week, youaremorepowerful.com. And so what we're doing with that has been amazing. We bring that into chiropractic, but finally getting this out in the physical copy of Back to Health will create a lifestyle culture, and what I've done in studying human behavior this year and brought into the boot camps and into Elite has allowed more people to be able to create more lifestyle patients than ever before that is not personality dependent. And so what we teach at the boot camps and in Elite to create raving fans, lifestyle fans, to build your culture. It's literally doctors. We're teaching doctors how to create purpose-driven leaders that live a lifestyle that take your message out, where we can build now such powerful cultures that your culture takes a life form of its own. It's kind of like it gets to the point like when you're teaching a kid how to ride a bike, you know what I mean? You just got to touch the seat every now and then because it has its own life force. And that's what it should be, where the patients that we create are bringing that message out into the world because they can live it, and they can lead it, and they can teach it. And that comes from all the human behavior work and the culture work that we brought into Elite and into our boot camps.
Momentum-based learning. That's
exactly,
awesome.
Man. Momentum is everything. Success is not to be able to create momentum. Growth is the ability to sustain momentum, because everybody can create momentum and grow. How many times have you grown and then fell back, grown and fell back? Because the problem is, because you've had a practice and not a culture, you're able to gain momentum, but were you able to sustain it? And that's the difference. A culture sustains momentum.
That's awesome. I really appreciate you sharing some of the mindset stuff and how you help chiropractors basically get clarity, because I think a lot of times when somebody gets out to practice, they think that they've won the world over by getting a diploma. But then I think that they've also won the world over when they can become an associate and learn. And then I also think that after years of practice, because I've met so many chiropractors, they think that they've won the world over because they have a referral based practice, which I think all of those are true. And I think that when somebody does become a doctor, it's an amazing accomplishment. But I also see the self-esteem level start to tail off once somebody does get that doctor degree and they realize how challenging becoming a chiropractor actually is. So why they need to come to your event in January on the 10th through the 12th, so they can get their momentum on, they can get a mindset shift, and they can have somebody that is a trusted resource in the chiropractic space that helps with not only the new grad, but the person that thinks that they've won it all already and still doesn't grow. And then the one that just goes in and treats it like a 9-to-5 gig. So I think there's a lot to be learned with elite coaching and what you have to offer to people.
Well, and the biggest thing, I mean, you hit it, man. If people are struggling in their communication, there's a lot of people that are successful, but are you fulfilled? So I'm not here to help people be successful. A lot of people can do that on their own, but fulfillment of your purpose is it. And to me, and I think to most people on here, the fulfillment of their purpose, creating as many lifestyle patients as possible, so that we know that we did the best we could. We impacted the most lives we could. And at the end of the day, or when we're sitting in that rocking chair on our porch at the end of our life, the world is different. And that's what I want for everybody, including us.
Yeah. So as we transition to the edge of this interview together, what are you looking forward to in 2020?
Oh man, we're just exponentially do everything that we keep doing. I mean, really, we want to have this book really impact the general public. We want the general public to be coming into chiropractors because of this book. Certainly, Your More Powerful System help more people in humanity find their soul purpose. I mean, every human being walking on here is a spirit with a soul purpose. And I would encourage every chiropractor to look into that. Go to yourmorepowerful.com. If you want to live your soul purpose on a more powerful level, connect with the innate divinity, that innate power within you, innate intelligence, then that will help you get so clear in your mind and your heart that you'll be able to take things to another level. If you do want a chiropractic tool, certainly you can go to elitecoachingllc.com and check out Back to Health.
And I think that that's a real good point that you made there. Is clarity is the one thing, even at like the hierarchy of education. And when you actually become a professional, clarity is something that we need to consistently be, we need to approach, and we have to like reinvent it, and we have to continuously nurture it and mature it. I think clarity one day changes the next day. It's like the weather, every back in Iowa, they said, if you don't like the weather, wait around 10 minutes, it will change. And I think that comes with our attitudinal approach to clarity changes so often too. And we have to understand that business is always in flux. Attitudes are always in flux. But when you have systems of clarity, that means that you can move through the bad days or the good days, and then you still have something that keeps you a standardization for success. And whether that's, like you said, whether that's clinical success or personal fulfillment success, those things should be on a journey together. And I love that you said that this all goes down to innate intelligence. I think so much has to do with our innate intelligence inside of us, but we also need to have trusted resources that can help refuel us and to reestablish some of these feelings and emotions back into action.
Exactly. Hey, you said it, man. You just reiterated what I said. Clarity can change things in a moment. You clear the fog and you are a different person. So, and that's really what my whole life purpose is about: changing clarity, gaining clarity on chiropractic, gaining clarity in yourself as an innate being here to fulfill a soul purpose. And when we can put those two together, we have more power to change humanity than ever before.
Awesome, brother. Well, is there anything that I didn't cover with you that you like to share with our audience today?
I think that's about it. I mean, I love to have relationships with people. If I can empower you in any way, even in a conversation, then it's all about unity, man. It's all about relationship. And the more we work together, the more we can impact the world. And I think that's why we're all here and we all know it.
I'm going to throw a shout out to some of our viewers today. We have Ethan Danberg that says, "Clarity can change things in a moment," as a quote.
Nice.
And we had Roger Sahori jump on and say, "Fred rocks and go boys." It's always nice when we get audience participation. If you guys found some value in this interview today, please hashtag value in the comments. If you guys are watching this on replay, hashtag replay in the comments so we know that you watched it. And let us know where you guys are watching in from. And so also one of the biggest things you guys can do for us is to share this Facebook Live to where more people know about Fred's boot camp on January 10th through 12th in the Mile High City here in Denver, Colorado, and jump onto his website and get a copy of that Back to Health book. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close out and thank all of you for being on today with Fred Didomenico and myself on a Chiro Hustle Afternoon Edition. And as I always close out, I say you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. Thanks, Fred.
There you go. Thanks, brother.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.